Steve. Okay, guys, if I call break, you take one step back. Don't throw punches around the back of the head. Protect yourselves at all times. Stretch them up. Good luck.
The 5th professional outing for Ste Clarke against the little-known Pole, but they build them tough in Krakow.
Seconds out.
He's at the epitome of a mixed bag of results coming into this, so we don't really know what we're going to get, Barry, but we know what we need to see from Ste Clarke.
Yeah, well, Clarke's a really good boxer, keeps his shape really, really well, and works behind that jab, and for a boxer of his range, that's very, very important. Well, still an amateur, of course, so you're expecting a good structure from him. And that's it, really. They're keeping the range here, just keep everything nice and long. And force his opponent onto the shots.
Just the one stoppage in his 4 professional fights so far, and that came on debut. Already the Pole showing he can mix it up, but he looks like he's going to walk on to a few as well.
Yeah, and it's important here for Clarke just not to get too close when he throws the shots, even though you want to maintain that pressure. Move the feet behind the shots.
Always tough stepping in there after a devastating first-round KO. The crowd are pumped after that one, and I have to say it's already a healthy crowd in here, considering the main card is still just about half an hour away.
That's a good jab, a lovely jab there from Clarke.
And as we saw earlier, Pawlowski rather walks onto a shot with no real feeling for what's coming. Clarke whips that left hand round as well. Already starting to get the sense that he can pick the Pole off here. Good work to the body, Barry.
Yeah, he just rolled back. He should have rolled back out though and just got that long right hand back into play. Boxing well here at the minute. Nice and relaxed.
Nice sense of purpose about Clarke's work as he stalks down Pawlowski.
That's good. Because he's not getting that front foot too close. Just not allowing Pawlowski any room to hold or even fire back. When he gets this close like this, that allows him a chance to just tie him up a little bit.
Grazing right hook from Clarke was taken well by Pawlowski. You can see just reddening up on the rib cage there as well. Clarke finding the target.
That's the jab there. That's a nice and low. You need to jab a little bit lower, and then use that because your legs are bent. Then you can push up that back foot and really extend with that right hand over the top.
And that's where he gets that right hand in as well.
That's a good shot. That's a nice sharp first round here for Clarke.
Shots from a range of angles as well from Clarke, going through the repertoire in the opening 3 minutes. Just looking that class above so far. Instruction taken from 2 members of the famous Smith family in there. Swifty, Steve Smith, his trainer, Paul Smith also in there. Barry, you couldn't get better advice than that, could you?
No, you couldn't. No, they've both boxed for world titles. Of course, they're the brothers. Unfortunately, the 2 brothers who didn't get over the line, but they both boxed for world titles and fought good fighters in doing so.
And looking to guide Ste Clarke to a potential world title shot somewhere along the line, but not a long way down the line, as he's had to eat a couple of jabs in the first few moments of this round as the Polish fighter Pawlowski comes out firing.
it's just about a little bit more rotation with that right hand for Clarke. I mean, he's in the position to land the shot, but if he turns a little bit more from the hips and the shoulders and pushes off that back leg, that makes that right hand much more powerful.
Certainly more of a snap to his shots. Pawlowski can't find any route in behind that jab. He's kept him at arm's length at all stages, Ste Clarke.
That's a good shot.
Comes through with that straight right hand as well. He's teeing these up brilliantly well.
But again, he has to remember, though, don't neglect that jab. That's got to be a constant weapon. That'll set up the attacks. That'll keep Pawlowski, just second guessing. Keep him occupied with that while you're setting up a bigger attack.
So tempting, though, with Pawlowski keeping the guard down and Clarke looking to attack with purpose. Shouts of keep touching him up from Paul Smith. You can hear audibly from ringside.
Now the right hand over the top there for Clarke was needed. He threw the left jab to the body, set it up nicely.
The gum shield has just gone there from Pawlowski. I think he'll be happier for the braver at this stage.
Pawlowski, he's got a little bit of a Terry Jones look about him.
Hasn't quite worked out, Ste Clarke, yet, has he? He's certainly got a dishevelled look. Clarke trying to go through the gears. Taking a couple as he comes in, but he's trying to find that angle for attack, isn't he?
Yeah, and also there's nothing on the shots that are coming back, so the punches that he are taking are just really glancing blows. So he can afford to be a little bit more adventurous, I think, now, Clarke.
Yeah, first few seconds of the round, he seemed to eat those 3 or 4 jabs at Pawlowski through, and there was no trouble at all.
Every time he's coming on to you, like, think every time you land in there, do you know what I mean? And you can come underneath him as well, with the body to cover. I feel it. Really good, Steve. Good, mate. What's up with this? When he fires back, when he steps on you, and change the angle of this, and it go round the back with it, okay?
Ste Clarke looking comfortable here against Mateusz Pawlowski. Through 2 rounds, the cleaner, crisper of the work has certainly come from the Liverpudlian.
10 seconds, corners. Seconds out.
Into the third, scheduled to go 8 here at the Co-op Live, Manchester's newest arena, staging boxing for the first time tonight.
Look at the set his stall out here. Clarke, a little bit more aggressive, hold his feet a bit more. It's good work.
That right over the top again, finding its mark, and I think now he knows that he's not going to be troubled too much by what the pole's throwing. He can afford to open up.
Just trying to get a little bit more comfortable. When you're fighting someone who's not a massive puncher, or not a puncher at all, then maybe you can afford to just practice that slip inside the shots rather than step back and evade everything. Just feel comfortable there to throw with shots with conviction, but slip inside and stay in the pocket a little bit more.
He looks like he's going to take a bit of chopping down, though, Pawlowski, that's for sure. Clarke's had to go the distance in his last 3 fights. But But unusual, of course, to see too many knockouts early in someone's career.
Good shot.
Nice work from Clarke.
Again, don't leave it too long before you let the hands go again, though, here for Clarke.
Just sat back and admired it a little bit there. Left hand to the body and then the right hand upstairs as Pawlowski starts to wilt a little bit. Didn't see that left hand coming either.
You got to keep moving that head, though, Clarke. That's the right idea, though. Just not to back away too much. But keep bending those legs, keep moving that head, keep that lateral movement, upper body movement. As you sat in the pocket. That's a good shot.
I suppose the problem when the shots aren't causing any problem, there's less of a need to move that head. You can just walk through them, and but you don't want to take too many like that, do you, Barry?
No, but also when you're moving the head, it puts you on a different, like you're going to move the body a little bit more, and it'll put you on an angle for a different, to get a bit of leverage into your own shots.
Been a little bit straight on so far, Ste Clarke. Now tries to vary it up. That right hook came in and scored well. Then tries a left uppercut as well. Trying to go through the repertoire now.
Yeah, and that lead left uppercut is a good idea for him, but he's leaning back a bit when he throws. He should be leaning, bringing that right shoulder a little bit over your left knee a little bit more to get the angle, the better angle for the attack.
There's been good stuff in this round from Ste Clarke, starting to show what he's got in the locker. Mateusz Pawlowski starting to be worn down here. Another solid round for the Liverpudlian.
Yeah, no, good round, wasn't it? There, see there, nice little 1-2 over the top there for Clarke. Nice clean shot rolling underneath there. Maybe come back with that right hand would have been more effective for him.
Janae Bostan there, getting the hands wrapped. He will open up the main card tonight against the Argentinian Marco Somareva. We are live on DAZN at 7 p.m. here from the Co-op Live in Manchester. And it's the lad from Rotherham who will take to the ring first.
Seconds out. Round 4.
So fourth round here for Ste Clarke, who started to show his quality in that third round. Don't think Pawlowski is going to offer too much back. So what is Clarke's game plan now? He can pretty much tee off on him for the next few rounds. Can he look to make the stoppage or just show his class in there?
Yeah, but you got to be careful he doesn't walk onto the shots and, doesn't want to make any silly mistakes. And it's about keeping your composure, but he can be more forceful, I feel. And maybe just doubling that jab up, just shorten the distance, just might help. But again, if you want to get a push on the right hand, you've got to really push off that back foot and push right through the body with the punch.
Just trying to close the distance a bit more in that corner. Wraps another stiff shot to the body. Again, you can always hear what Paul Smith's urging from ringside. That time it was keep the feint going.
That's good from Clarke. They got out that little clinch quite effectively to work.
And sprung straight to it.
Again, though, as Paul Smith was asking for, that nice little feint before he let his hands go there for Clarke.
A little bit easier to hear the instructions at this stage of the night, but I get the feeling by the time those main event walks come, Barry, this place is going to be like a bear pit.
Yeah, slowly filling up, isn't it? And it looks like a intimidating, if it is full, quite an intimidating venue to be at.
Certainly feels like the kind of arena that can create a big atmosphere. And great to have a domestic fight card to get excited about. We've had to wait a while, nothing against the cards in Riyadh. They've been spectacular, of course. But you cannot beat a British fight night. Clarke working in behind that jab's a great right hand there, Barry.
Yeah, he just shortened it up a little bit, didn't he? Threw it wasn't over the top like he has been doing. It was right down the middle, that right hand.
Scored a few times with that shot now, as Pawlowski hasn't seen it coming.
I'd like to see him double it up. If he lands it, just try and throw it again. Same angle, same line.
All part of the learning curve for Ste Clarke.
On the last couple of rounds, he's tried to be a little bit more assertive, hasn't he, with this work, Clarke? Not backing away so much.
I don't think Pawlowski's going to go anywhere anytime soon. He looks the durable type, that's for sure. Might have to take a bit more punishment through this one as we reach the halfway stage.
Just
a little bit of damage around the left eye from Clarke, and that's the shot which probably caused it.
Yeah, I don't think it's too much to worry about, just a little bit of a grazing maybe, but he's been relatively dominant, hasn't he, here, Clarke? Or massively dominant, controlling the pace. He's increased it in the last couple of rounds, he's been more effective and a bit more weight in his punches. That's been a good sign, and he's trying to adapt and be a little bit more forceful.
When he does land the pole, though, looks like he's got quite heavy hands. I suppose that would suggest as much in that his one win is a first-round KO.
A little bit more water, mate, okay?
I just think he's too light on his toes here. Pawlowski to really cause Clarke any trouble. I think he's got to sit down a bit more on his shot. So as long as Clarke is sensible, I think he can keep increasing the pace, increasing the pressure.
Round 5.
And at this stage, with these kind of opponents, they wouldn't have had a lot of tape to work on of Pawlowski, would they, the Smith brothers?
No, but that's not always a bad thing. I think people are just massively incensed now about I have to get a tape, I have to get a vid. If you've been a top-class amateur, as Clarke has, you've never seen your opponents before. You have to learn to adapt, and I think that's not a bad thing. It makes you opens your brain and allows you to think on your feet in a fight when you have to. So I think not knowing about who your opponent is not always the end of the world. You get a round to have a look at what he does, and then you have to think for yourself. And the corner have to think and adapt, and it makes you all better at your job, ultimately.
Gum shield out again. This time it's Ste Clarke. And as you say, it's more about what Clarke is learning in there than about what he can learn from his opponent, isn't it?
Yes, of course, yeah, but you've got to start trying to read things and time things, and if you can do that, and when you don't know what you're facing, you haven't been training to a certain style, just training yourself, working on your strengths and weaknesses, then you have to think on your feet when you're in the fight, so that helps you see things clearly, and that will help you down the line against fighters who you are watching, but you have to adapt because they don't always do what you see on tape.
The pole in fast retreat on most of these exchanges. Again, though, he's got that guard down. He's inviting Clarke in, isn't he? But Clarke not taking the bait, lands with a right hand there.
Yeah, but he's got his hands down, out the distance. So once Clarke moves forward, he'll take a step back or the hands go up automatically. So he's just trying to force Clarke to make a mistake punch before he's ready.
Clarke just still trying to judge that distance perfectly as he's just out of range a couple of times on that jab.
Nice good shot there from Clarke. Again, just get a little bit more turn on the shot. A bit more torque on the punches. Dramatically has more of an effect. Takes a right hand of his own there though, Clarke.
As you mentioned, he's starting to dip the knees a little bit more when he gets in close. Oh, he took her right there. That snapped the head back. Just a moment of concern. Has got the air of a man, Pawlowski, who can hit hard. Took that well, though, Clarke. Doesn't seem to have bothered him too much.
No, I don't think it was a heavy shot. He just got caught. He jumped into the attack, didn't he, there? He's got caught unawares there, Clarke. So going to keep that brain switched on if he can. Good body shot.
And another good counter there from Clarke. few uneasy moments for the Liverpool fighter, but on the whole, once again, the better work has come from the man in the blue and black. The Everton fan, who will no doubt have one eye on his side in action at the moment.
A good right hand he got caught with just before the second one, but he just jumps into the attack here. Pawlowski there's a lovely little shot there, just knocking the head back at Clarke, but I don't think there was too much on it, just caught unawares. Just a little reminder though, even though nothing's been coming back really, just to keep that concentration at all times and keep increasing that pressure. You've got to get back to that. That's important there for Clarke.
Probably a good thing that he took that shot as well. If that is the best that Pawlowski has to offer, he knows that he can come through it. I think we expected this to be a tricky assignment, and that's exactly how it's proved to be.
Seconds out for the 6th and final round.
Well, coming through it, Ste Clarke. One more round to negotiate. The final round here on Before the Bell. Ahead of the main action at 7. Jack Catterall, Regis Prograis are ready to stand on business. But we've got business to conclude here. And Clarke looking to see it out. Trying to let the hands go at the start of this 6th round.
That's a nice, lovely 1-2 there from Clarke. It's just about not making any mistakes here now for Clarke. Now you want to try and increase the pressure if you can. Try and finish on a high. But most importantly, don't lose your shape. Don't get rattled now and start taking silly shots. Just everything behind the jab. Nice long 1-2s. Keep it at range. Keep it at distance. Just try keep pushing Pawlowski back.
Pawlowski's been game, that's for sure, and he's had a couple of good moments in this. And the kind of moments, I suppose, a fighter like himself, he'll be looking to get back on these kind of cards to be that next fighter for one of these other fighters coming up through the matchroom ranks or any of the domestic ranks.
Yeah, you know, he's light on his feet. He's flighty. He takes the sting out the shot, so he's going to be an awkward man to fight. But there are bigger punches in the division, and if you step up the levels, and more experienced fighters will close the gap more effectively. But again, it's all about the learning stages here for Stephen Clarke.
Lovely jab from Clarke. Moving that head a little bit more, dipping under the shots and working the angles. Happy to come in on the exchange as well. Seeing everything that Pawlowski is throwing earlier now. Just a little bit ragged as we enter the final minute. Clarke in control, looking to close the show.
Yeah, but he lands there because he threw a feint before he threw. That's like that there. See that little feint just affects your opponent's rhythm a little bit. Then you can throw off it.
And that's what they wanted. That's what his corner have got. And now he's got his man in a bit of distress up against the ropes. But Pawlowski manages to come out of that wave of attack. Crowd desperate to see him come forward, but Pawlowski is game.
Oh, it's lovely from Pawlowski there. Little bounce in and out with the feet, then a nice sharp 1-2. Best bit of work for him, I thought.
He's had his moments, the Pole. Wasn't much to go on, but what he's provided over these 6 rounds has been good. It's not going to be good enough against Ste Clarke. Oh, got through with a right hand there, though, and then it turns into a bit of a firefight for the last few seconds. Well, Clarke had to take a couple there. He's earned the respect from the Pole. The Pole's earned respect from the Smith camp in the corner. Tough night's work that for Ste Clarke in the end, Barry.
Yeah, no, I thought he boxed well, and for most of the fight, he had it all under control. It was just fleeting moments now and again when he got caught with a few shots, but not really. I thought the only real time he struggled a little bit was that last little 20 seconds where I thought he got caught with, especially the last punch of the round. I thought that was a really good shot that maybe just rocked him just a little bit. But apart from that, it was everything in the favour of Stephen Clarke. We're asking for more work off him, of course, at times, but he's not a massive puncher. He's maybe never going to be that. So you've got to work to your strengths. You just got to learn about just turning a bit more into a few of the shots. But listen, these rounds are invaluable as you go through. You get to learn about yourself, the corners, you know, back in camp. Then you can say what you did right, what you did wrong, and most importantly, he gets the win with no dramas, no trouble, no injuries.
Well, let's check if he has got that win. It's over to David Diamante.
Ladies and gentlemen, after 6 rounds here at the Co-op Live in Manchester, we go to referee Steve Gray's scorecard. It reads 60-54 for your winner. He's still undefeated, Ste Clarke.
So Ste Clarke moves to